What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk to you about a concept that I heard which I really enjoyed, and I wanted to pass on the message because I think it's such a powerful message. Whether you're a sales professional, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're in business or not, I think this is a very powerful concept to understand and internalize and actually start to really think about and possibly make some of your decisions using this concept. Now, my intention with this video is to actually go over the concept with you and then give you one example that illustrates this beautifully. And after that, I want to leave this concept with you, and whether you apply this or not is totally up to you and it's absolutely your call, but I would highly encourage you to at least consider it. Now, just before I get into it, as always, make sure to smash that like button, comment your thoughts below if you have any questions. I would love to answer that for you. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And all that being said, let's get into it. So the concept is of the two scorecards, and one of them is an internal scorecard and the other one is an external scorecard. And the concept is this: you have these two scorecards which you can measure everything by. So your personal successes, your sales and business successes, your relationships, and whatever else might be, you can measure it by these two scorecards. And a lot of people actually live their entire lives by one or the other of these scorecards. And unfortunately, a lot of people live their lives by the external scorecard as opposed to the internal scorecard. So first, let me give you the definitions of these scorecards just so it's more clear and we're all on the same page. And secondly, let me give you an example that illustrates this perfectly. So first things first, when it comes to the scorecards, the external scorecard being you're judged by others, you're judged by an external point of view or an external perspective. Somebody else from the outside is judging your decisions, actions, and whatever else it might be. The internal scorecard is you're looking at your own actions, you're looking at your own choices, you're looking at your own decisions, and you're making those decisions internally. And you're looking at what's more aligned with you, what's more aligned with your purpose, with your goals, with who you are. And that's the gauge that you're using to make your decisions. So that would be the internal scorecard. So you have the internal and the external. Now, we always flip-flop between the two, and chances are there's a bit of each involved in a lot of decisions that we make and a lot of different ways that we operate our lives. But chances are you might be leaning heavily towards one or the other. And I want to give you this example now to illustrate this point perfectly. And funny enough, this example I actually heard first from none other than Warren Buffett when he was given an example on his one of his business lectures. And I came across this and I actually loved the idea and the example. So here's the dilemma that Buffett posed, which again illustrates this point perfectly. And Buffett said, if I posed you a question, which one would you choose? And your answer to this would dictate how you operate your life, which scorecard you choose, the internal or the external. And Buffett said, if you had the choice of being the world's greatest lover but being known as the worst, or being the world's worst lover but being known as the greatest, which one would you choose? And that's a funny example, but if you think about that, that illustrates perfectly the point of what are you gauging and measuring your decisions and your actions by, the external scorecard or the internal scorecard. And I want you to think about that example yourself and really ponder on which one you would choose, because it might give you a deeper perspective on how you tend to operate, and maybe even subconsciously. So you might have to go in there and rewire some of your thinking and really rethink some of the priorities and what you're gauging your decisions and your actions by, the external or the internal scorecards. So that's the concept of the two scorecards, and that's the example that I wanted to use. And the reality is we're all using one or the other, sometimes a mix of both, but it's really good to understand where we're at and to also look at, personally, from my opinion, how we can move more towards using the internal scorecard and being more aligned with ourselves and how we feel and our goals and our purposes in life to make our decisions, and which then guide our actual actions, which of course lead to the results that we create in our future. So it's an important concept to think about, and I want you to really look at which side of the spectrum you're on and which side you'd rather be on. And of course, let's start moving in that direction. Let's start taking the micro steps in the right direction that we want to be in. So there you have it. That's today's message for you. I hope you enjoyed that and got a ton of value out of it. As always, make sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe if you haven't already. And all that said, I'll see you in the next video.